Hey guys, how are y'all? As Darryl alluded to, we don't put as much press in an early signing day with a lot of the high school kids we've signed, and we're February 5th is the actual national signing day, and the way the structure works now, there's two different signing days, two different signing periods, and we take full advantage of both of them. One thing I want to do briefly, and I'll talk more about these guys. So we'll have an event February 5th, the day of signing day, and I'll talk more in depth. We'll have video, kind of like we always do, as far as signing day goes. But one thing I wanted to do was visit with you guys a little bit about 8 guys that are enrolled on campus as we speak. 3 of them are actually high school kids, with 5 of them being mid-year transfers. So one thing that we have seen more over the past couple of years that maybe is becoming more of a trend is high school seniors graduating early. And so we've taken full advantage of that with some of our guys. We've actually got 2 offensive linemen and a running back in that are coming straight from high school. So we're excited about those young men. We addressed some immediate needs the Wednesday before Christmas with that signing day. Some immediate needs. You think of losing a guy like Juan Jackson, an all-conference safety. We needed someone mid-year to replace him. We needed offensive line help and depth and just size. We addressed that with 2 big high school offensive linemen who are enrolled already and working out as we speak. Along with, you lose your deep snapper, you lose your punter. You don't think about those positions as positions of need till you don't have them. And both of our kids graduated, so we were fortunate enough to sign two guys from a mid-year school in that. And then obviously the position of corner, we lost 3 guys at corner this year and needed to replace that position. So we're all across the board as far as our positional needs, and we think we took full advantage of that. Speaking specifically about some of the kids we were able to sign, we were signed 2 in-state kids that are enrolled right now in Deuce Wise, Derek Wise. He goes by Deuce. He's going to play running back for us. Well, at Fort Smith Northside, he played quarterback, defensive back, kind of did it all for those guys. Matter of fact, he finished his career with over 6,500 total yards from the position of quarterback. And if you talk to in-state coaches at the highest level, they said he's one of the best athletes they've seen come through this state in a long while. So very excited about Deuce. Very excited about his prospects of replacing a guy like Carlos Blackman or just adding to the already good depth we have at running back. Very excited about what Deuce brings to the table. William Mayo, also an in-state kid from Sylvan Hills, Arkansas, offensive lineman. We measured him, weighed him the other day when they came in for their physicals. Measured in at 6'5", weighed in at 338. So again, we've got to continue to get good size. We've got to continue to get good depth on the offensive line. That's an 18-year-old kid that should be going to prom here in a couple weeks, and he's already here working out with us. And obviously we're going to trim some of that baby fat he has off of him. And when I say baby fat, he's also a power lifter. So he's probably barely shaving, but he can. You can pretty much put the weight of the whole weight room on him, and he's going to put it up. So very excited about him. Matter of fact, when workouts on Friday afternoon, we had to cut him off on the squat bar because he's already our strongest squatter on the offensive line as a true freshman. So very excited about him. And when I say strongest squatter, let's put that in perspective. That's probably, we cut him off at 6'15". So 615 pounds, cut him off. He was doing it pretty easily. So I would imagine he's a 700-pound squatter. Very excited about his prospects. Also brought in another offensive lineman from Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. Again, Coach Ryan Howard does a great job in that area. Again, a young prospect that from a great program, back-to-back 7A state champions there at Dr. Phillips. Derek Haupt is his name, and he projects as an offensive tackle for us. He weighed in the other day at 305, 6'4", 305. So 2 kids, two high school offensive linemen, both 300-plus pound kids, both 6'4" kids. We've got to continue to grow kids like that and get kids into this program. I think it's going to continue to make us better. Talking about the defensive backfield a little bit, maybe the guy I'm most excited about is a guy named Christian Kane, safety. He's from Northwest Mississippi. Again, very heavily recruited young man. If you remember the way the Illinois State safeties look, they both are about 6'2", 205. That's exactly the way Christian Kane looks. He measured in the other day at 6'2" and weighed 201. So very, very long safety, very, very physical kid, but also has the range and ability. I think he had 4 or 5 interceptions at Northwest this year, was an all-state performer at Northwest Community College, and was very, very heavily recruited. As a matter of fact, we beat some Sun Belt schools for that kid. We did a great job recruiting him at an early pace in the process, and stuck with him, and he stuck with us through the whole process as well. Cameron Cuevas is another kid we signed from Kilgore Community College, a corner. He's a 5'11", 185-pound kid. Again, just adding depth. We've got Robert Rochelle back. We've got Duke Upshaw coming back off his injury. Both of those guys were starters last year. Obviously, Duke went down in the Western Kentucky game with an Achilles injury, but he's back, rehabbing, looking as good as he looked before. But to add depth to that position is going to be huge. You lose a guy like Trey Mosley, you lose a guy like Brandon Northcross, you got to add a mid-year guy to continue to add good depth to that position. So very excited about Cameron Cuevas. And then continue to talk about size, talked about the offensive line. We signed a kid from Colin Community College in Mississippi named Jalen Bedell. Jalen, again, similar to Christian Kane out of the Mississippi Junior College system, was a very, very heavily recruited kid. As a matter of fact, early on in the process, had South Alabama, had Southern Miss, had Troy. Basically fell to us in a certain sense. But Jalen the other day, he's 6'2", 315 pounds, defensive tackle. Again, adding size with the Javius Brown, with Caden Brown, with Austin Norris. We didn't lose a defensive lineman on our roster. So he just adds to that depth. That's a group that's going to continue to get better. We feel like we're going to continue to add some skill to that position. We're going to sign a couple pass rushers from the high school level as well that we'll announce. Some of them are already signed that we will announce in February 5th. So very excited about Jalen and his potential in the interior defensive line for us. Mentioned earlier the snapper and punter. Now here's a unique situation. Again, our two graduated, our snapper and our punter, Taylor Wallace and Reeve Wood, both graduated. Their eligibility is over. But we were fortunate enough to sign 2 mid-year kids that both have 3 years of eligibility left. So that's huge for us. That means we don't have to worry about it for another 3 years. And here's the neat part about it is they were both teammates at Coffeyville Community College. So we've got their starting snapper, their starting punter that have a rapport, that understand each other, which is important in the specialist room. And both are great young men. And Ciaran Hughes Ford and Justin Kydgers is their name. And Ciaran is our punter. He is a little different than what we've maybe signed before. He's about 6'3" to 6'4" range. So very long kid, very lanky, very athletic. You look at the professional punters that are kicking in the NFL, and those guys are long guys, and they have big legs, and they develop a lot of whip, and that's what Ciaran does. So we're very excited about his prospects and what he brings, along with Justin as well. So very exciting a time. We were talking at the table while we were eating. Our main focus and our goal right now is obviously recruiting till February 5th, and we're in a dead period right now. That's why we're here. Some of our coaches are at the coaches convention, but we're here trying to. A lot of us are here still going through workouts, getting our guys going. But our main focus for the next 2.5 weeks will obviously be on finishing up our recruiting class, our 2020 class. We signed 15 guys. We announced 8 of them, but we signed 15 guys in the early signing period. We'll probably sign another 6, maybe 7, maybe 5. Somewhere in that range, just depending on numbers and who jumps on board. So it's a good time. I've said it many times. Matter of fact, I got a text about a kid wanting to commit while I was sitting there, an in-state offensive tackle. So it's a good time to be a Bear and to be going through this recruiting process, because people want to be a part of something special. And again, that's not just the football program, that's the university, and that's the athletic department as a whole. So exciting times. Again, we're available if you need anything. I'm a phone call away if you got a question, but it's a very, very fun time, and we're excited. We're looking forward to February 5th getting here. We'll have a couple official visits before then, and then spring ball will be looking at us right in the mirror. So it'll be here before we know it. Again, you saw the national championship Saturday morning, and we see what it looks like. Again, you got to stop the run and be able to run the football if you want to make it deep into the playoffs and make a run at it. So we've got to continue to recruit towards that and get our program to that point. So I promise you we'll get there.